Welcome back to Digital Trends Live. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're live every weekday, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And on Fridays, we have a segment called Tech Briefs, where we like to bring you up to date on some of the biggest stories that happened during the week. And to do that, well, first off, I'm Greg Nibler. We're joined by Flipboard's technology editor. It is Ken Yeung. Hello, Ken.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you, too. Again, so much to unravel this week. I mean, I feel like we're just going to get to some of the highlights. But to start off, I think we have to go back to the beginning of the week with Google I.O. I mean, so much unveiled. We can't go through it all, but I think a couple of things that really stood out was one, that Pixel 3a, the Pixel 3a phone that came out. What can you tell us about that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about Google I/O. It's like it's the second biggest tech conference that we have in the span of a few weeks. First one obviously was F8. So now Google I/O, they lead off with a whole bunch of announcements. And as you mentioned, the Google Pixel 3a, I have it right here. They gave it out to the press. Obviously, Digital Trends does have a review. A bunch of other publications also have reviews out there as well. It's basically what you get for the Pixel 3, but at a price point that's way cheaper, right? This is probably about like $400 to $500 if you want to get the smaller one versus the XL, which is the larger one, which I just showed. And it's actually, you get the benefits of the software. The camera's amazing, but the downside is that you don't get the wireless charging. It's not water resistant. It doesn't have Daydream support. And the processor is it isn't as great as the other one. But the point is that if you don't want to spend that much money on a premium phone, then the Google Pixel 3a is probably something that you're going to be kind of interested in. And it's actually worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're doing that they're coming in with one at that mid-range, because you still get that great camera. As from what I understand, it's the same camera as the Pixel 3. So
yeah, it's all based off of the software. And that's something that Google's done exceptionally well with. And you look at the current rate of premium phones, like with the Samsung Galaxy S10, the iPhone, and Lord knows whatever else is out there, and they're all $1,000+ So most people don't feel that's actually worth it. So they're going to other things such as the OnePlus or Huawei, or now even the Google Pixel, and now Google has made it even more affordable.
Yeah, that's great. And we've got, you're right, we do have a review up at digitaltrends.com on that as well. So that was on the hardware side. Something else that was really interesting, I mean, there was a lot, but one that we're going to focus on is Google Search itself, like Google Search and the changes. And they showcased some of this basically augmented reality features, some 3D features, some different rendering, and some ways that you can actually, it livens up search and adds in much more to it. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think Google started off back in decades ago as a search engine. I mean, that was primarily what it was, and now it's expanded. And its whole mission has been to kind of help expand our knowledge around what's around the world. And so this basically, the announcement from Google I/O is that it's taking their popular AR and their lens feature and bringing all of that directly into the phone and allowing you to search using real world objects. So they were already working with companies such as, I believe, Samsung, Target, New Balance, NASA, and a whole bunch of other things to incorporate AR technology into search. What that means is that you can be out in the world and searching for, and this is something that they ran on stage, a shark. Like, what does a great white shark look like? And you can look it up on your phone. And with this, I think the space feature that they have, you can actually bring the shark and throw it out into the real life using AR and actually see what it looks like. So it's giving you more of an aesthetic and more of a wholesome experience about what you're looking for. And with the lens feature, it's actually letting you gain knowledge not based off of text, but off of visual things out there as well. So if you happen to see a sign that's in another language that you need translated, you just point your camera up to it, and using the lens feature, you'll be able to see exactly what that sign says. And that's actually going to be helpful for people who may not be illiterate in different languages or need help, or maybe even need want additional information. Like you might go to a restaurant and take a photo of the menu, and then you're going to be able to see other places where that might be available, or ingredients, or some additional contextual information. So it's helping you to gain better understanding of your environment. so that you're more informed.
Yeah, there's definitely some really cool additions on there. I will be curious to see how it works out with, some of those companies they do work with, that they have that, the added bonus for the search feature versus some of the companies that don't, if that's how that's going to affect, business-wise and results-wise, what's going to come of that. But definitely some cool additions there to Google search. All right, we got time. We want to get to two more things because there's so many things going on. I think just briefly anyway, I think we have to acknowledge the Blue Origin announcement from yesterday. Anytime you have the world's richest man who's in charge of the biggest, I guess you would call it a tech company in the world. I mean, it's Amazon, it's everything. Jeff Bezos making his announcement yesterday that Blue Origin is going to be they're planning to send a probe to the moon. They'll have rovers out there. They're calling it Blue Moon, which of course, and they're saying that by 2024, they'll be able to put this on the moon and then eventually go from there and be able to bring astronauts there, be able to, as they said, long-term set up a moon base, use that as a launching pad for further space exploration. I like this idea of these kind of competing companies. I mean, going in a little bit of a different direction, but this, you have Virgin Galactic, you have SpaceX with Elon Musk, and now Blue Origin. But Blue Origin's always been a little bit quieter. They haven't done as much press. I mean, Elon Musk is out there showcasing himself to the world at all times, to talk about what they're doing, which is great. But they've kept it a little bit under wraps. So it was a little bit of a surprising announcement. How did you feel about this?
Well, I think it's actually pretty interesting. And you look at in the aftermath of Jeff Bezos' announcements, Elon Musk took to Twitter to tease Jeff and basically, it's like, look, we've been doing this. Welcome to the game kind of thing. But you're right. Like, Blue Origin has been around for a while, pretty much the same as what Richard Branson and Elon Musk. And Jeff Bezos' whole thing is to kind of get to the moon by 2024, which is this whole deadline that's set out by Vice President Mike Pence, trying to get us back to the moon. And look, I think the more the merrier. I think you look at space exploration, that's kind of the new frontier for a lot of people. And NASA isn't able to really do that. They're leaning heavily on commercialized space travel. And look, I think it's going to be an interesting opportunity. You look at with Blue Origin, they're building a new rocket, the heavier rocket, which is probably similar to SpaceX's Falcon Heavy. And believe they're calling it the New Glenn rocket. That'll be in product. That'll be tested out next year or by 2021. And we'll see who gets to the moon first. Well, on one point, Jeff Bezos wants to go to the moon. Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. The more the merrier. Right.
Then we'll have Planet, they'll rename them. It'll be Planet Amazon, Planet Tesla, and that's, where we'll be going from there. But we'll see what happens. It is exciting, though. I love that they have these competitions going and, that is furthering space exploration because finally we're back on that track. All right. Lots you can cover that. We've got that at digitaltrends.com as well. But let's talk about the other, I think, huge story this week is Uber. Right. Lyft. There was a strike that happened. Uber just went public actually today is when it actually happened. I saw that it's trading lower as of right now than what their IPO was. I think they put it 45. Right now it's at 42. We'll see how that balances out throughout the rest of the day. But this Uber and Lyft strike, what do you think this means with these Uber and Lyft drivers who took a stand earlier this week, turned off their app? Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them, enough to try to make some movement and highlight the fact that Uber's execs are making billions of dollars. They're not making that much as drivers. What do you think the outcome of all of that is going to be?
I think it'll be time. Time will tell. Right, to be honest, and this is probably equivalent to the delete Facebook movement that happened right after Cambridge Analytica and all the other scandals that's plagued Facebook. Look, I think Uber is in an interesting position. They've never considered themselves to be a travel company or a taxi company. They've always considered themselves a logistics company. Even the CEO has said that they want to be the next Amazon. Now, I believe if you look at there's an interesting dichotomy that's happening right now. The fact that Uber is now a public company, and you said it earlier, they were originally priced to go public at $45 a share. And right when their first trade today started at 42. Now they're about $44, almost $45. So they're about on par with their IPO price. But you look at how many people are getting rich off of this. SoftBank, I believe Bloomberg published a graph earlier today that said that SoftBank is about to bank, pardon the pun, $9.8 billion. Travis Kalanick, the former CEO and one of the co-founders, is banking about $5 billion. And Derek Khosrowshahi, sorry, I probably mispronounced his name, $9 million off of the IPO. So you look at all of this and you look at the drivers, and basically what they want is they want Uber and Lyft to take less of a cut off of their fares, and they want to make more money off of it. These are people that may not necessarily be able to afford having a full-time job and doing this they depend on this as their full-time job. And they need to make money off of this. And right now, some of them are saying that they're living out of their cars, and they don't want to be classified as independent contractors anymore, which is what you kind of see with the sharing economy, with Airbnb, with Ubers and Lyfts and the like.
Yeah, and all of these gig economy jobs, I mean, the way that all works out. I mean, and I can certainly see their point. I mean, if somebody's making that much money off of it, you're making it off the backs of these people. Eventually, Uber's kind of stated their goal is to go full autonomous and to go that route. So, lay all of these people off at some point. I mean, but you're building this giant company off of this. Pay them. I mean, you have the money, you have the funds for it. They're losing money anyway, but I mean, they have so much coming in. You might as well pay some out for that. Taking a look at it just going forward. I mean, I guess we'll have to see, where it all ends up, whether this is going to have any kind of a movement. But what do you think the outcome of this IPO is going to be for Uber? Are they going to be able to finally turn a profit?
I think that's something that analysts and even shareholders, potential shareholders, are actually looking for. They wonder, is it going to actually turn a profit? They have billions in dollars worth of losses. And so you're wondering, where is all this money going to go to actually help boost the company so that it has a better fortune. Now, but you look at it this way: if Uber's trying to be the next Amazon famously never said they were going to make a profit. They threw all their money, whatever money they got back, they threw right back into investing into new things. And you look at Uber; they have their autonomous vehicles, they have freight, they have Uber Eats. And they're exploring additional ways to get things moving around the country. So I mean, I don't think that you're probably going to see them make a profit in the near future. Maybe in the long term, but not in the near future. But what you probably will see is them innovating on interesting and potentially changing societal changes, changing ways for us to get around.
Well, it's certainly a lot to consider, and there's so much that's going on with that, and a lot to catch up on. And of course, you can follow along at Digital Trends and at Flipboard to stay up to date on everything that's going on in the world of tech. Ken, this is fun every week to do this. I feel like it flies by, but we try to give everybody just a condensed version of what's going on for those conversations. And once again, thanks so much for joining us, Ken.
My pleasure.